Hi, Brianna. I'm going to run through your homework assignment. I did have the answers posted for the first one, so I'm not sure if you did not look at those, but it does look like your poisoning was on. I'm missing a few R codes, which are sign or symptoms codes. You did have the AIDS code, you're missing the epilepsy. So make sure you double check that. Let's move on to number 3. L50.0, the allergic carrier should be first. You need that T code for the adverse effect of antibiotics. Remember, you look up antibiotics, you go to the table of drug and chemicals, and your malignant neoplasm should be of the testes. So also an excision code. So make sure you read through what I have here, compare. Let's go ahead and move on to number 5. With number 5, okay, again with this one, this patient does have AIDS. So we kind of talked about this last year when a patient does have AIDS, and that's going to be principal diagnosis because the histoplasmosis is current, but it's related to AIDS. So AIDS always rules as being first. Now, if the patient came in with a fracture and that's not related to AIDS, then your fracture code is going to be first. So these two kind of relate to each other. So the other thing here, we have the D70 code. We also should have a T code and an insertion of an infusion device. So really look these over, look them up in your coding book. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Okay, number 7. We have D50. You have 9. Keep in mind, these are all poisoning. Okay. You have 4 different types of drugs. You need to code for all 4. One good thing, you do have the poisoning first. Remember, we talked about this also. Poisoning's first, and then whatever is wrong with the patient comes in second, which is our respiratory failure. They did put the patient on ventilation, and they did an insertion of a tracheal tube. So once again, 4 poisoning codes because there's 4 different drugs. Number 9, when you have an adverse effect, which this was, whatever is wrong with the patient is listed first. So this was nausea with vomiting, that's first, the T code second. Very important for the exam to make sure you know that. Number 11, it looks like you're close, just missing an adverse effect. I'm not worried about x-rays, they coding those. Let's go to 13, T43, 3x off a digit. So we also have T49, or I'm sorry, T39. So double check and make sure that you are coding poisoning. We also have a toxic effect on this one. It looks like your alcohol abuse is right on though. And then number 15, we need to start off with the fracture. That's the principal diagnosis. T40 is fine. We also, I'm not sure here, and then you do have a procedure, but you're missing the nausea and the vomiting. These are adverse reactions to morphine. They were developed after admission, so that's why we are still coding them. So keep that in mind. But the patella still remains your principal diagnosis. Let's go ahead and move to chapter 21. T8611, looks like you did well on number 1. Number 2, we have T8402-1A, D62. Don't forget again with our procedures. Number 3, we have 2 T codes, one for the infection, one for the loosening. Then it looks like you did not code any of the procedure codes. So make sure you review these and let me know if you have any questions on them. Number 4, we need inflammatory condition of the jaws. We also need a personal history of malignant neoplasm of the tongue. We have a Y code, and we also have an excision code. Number 5, J9 5.2, acute pulmonary insufficiency is principal diagnosis. And then we code our malignant neoplasm. Once again, read through all the comments on these. They are a wonderful guidance. It will help you for the exam. And it looks like number 6, you did do a good job, except for the 7th character. That will be, again, initial. Let me know, Brianna, if you have any questions on these.